Hi, everyone. Welcome to Primetime TV Show. I'm one of your hosts, Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is Dennis Kelly. Hi.
Hi.
You're back again.
I'm back again. Can't keep me away.
I know. Isn't that the truth? You had a day off last week.
You cleaned my cage.
Exactly. And so now he's back to share a few little tips on ageless living because we have made such amazing discoveries. I know there's so many of you that have been with us. Well, gee whiz, it's over a year now. We had our 1-year anniversary.
Time goes by fast when you're growing old.
Where'd that come from? That's horrible. That's not what you're supposed to say on an ageless living show. So let's start that all over again, okay? What else would you say to replace that? Because that was dumb.
That was just a spur of the moment cliche.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
So you're getting old then? So you feel like you're...
No, I said time goes by fast when you're getting older. It just means that we're having so much fun. That's why time goes by so fast.
So we're
As seniors, we are doing things that even young people don't get to do more often.
He's trying to backpedal now. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
That's enough. That'll serve.
That's enough. So are we going to be able to give some tips on ageless living now that you have your brain back in full battery charging gear this last year?
Well, give me a 1% leeway.
1%?
99%.
99%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a little break.
Little break?
Yeah.
Okay. He's full of it today. But then so am I. So we're going to have a great...
Yeah, that's right.
Great show. Before let's see, how long ago was it? It was probably a couple of months ago. We shared some things that were going on a serious note in our family, which we didn't quite understand. And since things have been really taking a turn for the better, you're going to find over the next year, we're going to be sharing as much as we possibly can with you on our show on Primetime. And we're also having guests come in that have contributed to our really improving in so many different areas of our health, both of our health, because that's what our mission is to give you as many opportunities to live your best life ever and to have it be a quality life. Because like you say at your seminars and your Tai Chi classes, you talk about who wants to be living to 100. Nobody raises their hand. And then he says, well, what is it that you say to get them? Everybody raises their hand.
I say, how many of you would like to live to be 100? And nobody raised their hand. I said, how many of you, if you could have the quality of health that you have now, and even more so, in other words, be in better shape than you are now, how many of you would like to live to be 100? And everybody raised their hand then.
Exactly, because you want to have quality of life. And believe me, we have had our challenges in the last couple of years and have not shared them with anyone, not even members in our own family. Because when you see someone you love start to lose their energy and start to really power down in life, not be there in every moment, being present and all of that, it's kind of scary and you don't know where you're going. But when you have friends and people that are in the alternative health world that can offer you alternatives, we raised our hand. And so my husband has been using himself as to set an example on what we can do to help ourselves really live an ageless life. So we were actually talking when you were competing, the last time you were competing, and when you noticed how you felt like you were starting to power down, and how the last tournament you left all your gear in the room and you said, I'm done, didn't you?
That's right. So that's it. C'est la vie.
That's right. And you haven't gone back. You haven't looked back at all. And at that time, little did I realize that he felt that there was some things going on in his life. And you're going to be hearing more and more about that. If you go back on our on-demand shows on primetimetvshow.com, you'll be able to see Dr. Gabbert, who was here just a few weeks ago. And he shared a lot about a word that neither one of us knew about, and that was glycation, and the importance of the mitochondria and how we begin to power down if our body isn't working optimally. Did I say that okay?
You did great. You're hired.
Any pay?
Sure.
So what's your understanding after all these months, because I know you've been really doing your research, and so have I, about the mitochondria and what happens when our cells, I guess, they just power down.
Well, the mitochondria is like the batteries in our cell phones. And you have to keep charging those batteries occasionally. And the same thing with the human cell. The mitochondria are the little batteries in the cells. And when we pass 40, they start powering down automatically. And when the cells are powered down, the mitochondria aren't firing at their full velocity, then what happens, the cells can't cleanse themselves in other words, they can't detox themselves, they can't release glutathione, which is nature's greatest anti-aging, super antioxidant that the cells produce naturally. You can't buy anything in the store that can compete with that. There is nothing that man can make to compete with that. So the key is to power up the cells so the cells are able to cleanse themselves, and the cells are able to then also produce the antioxidants that will attack the germs and free radicals that enter the body. And it's just common sense that we need to do things that keep the batteries in our cells powered up. And when they're powered up, like I say, good things happen. When they're powered down, that's when disease steps in. That's when nutrients, and that's why don't get to enter the cells. Have you ever noticed some people, they take all the vitamins in the world and they still are unhealthy? It's because their cells are powered down and the nutrients can't get into the cell to do their work, and the waste product can't get out of the cell. So it's a double-edged sword.
Absolutely. Well, there are a lot of things that we can do to help power our cells up. And we're going to be sharing, as I said earlier, a lot of the different things that we have been doing. And one of the things that we've had to do in order to get through these health challenges that my husband has had for a few years now is we have had to master our mind of what we have up there at the moment, in and of the moment, and also master a heart-centered life. And many of you have attended our seminars, many of you have attended workshops, you've tuned into the show to hear these tips, and that really and truly has been the major key that has allowed us to really get through these challenges. Everybody has challenges, and it's how we deal with those challenges. And I know my husband, is my life coach, has taught me how to really live so much in gratitude, which is really the key word, and to live that heart-centered life. Or I don't know, it could have been worse of a challenge had I not known that. So we want to let you know that we have a Master Your Mind workshop coming up. That's going to be coming up in June. I'm going to give you the date here on my little cheat sheet. But it's Master Your Mind on Sunday, June 28th, and it's going to be held at the New Beginnings Oneness Center over here in Tarpon Springs. And it's going to be from 2 to 4. It's $25 prepaid, and at the door it's going to be $30. And it's really a way to improve your mind, body, spirit, because that's how we need to live our lives. We can't just live with a physical body that's healthy. We have to have a physical mind, physical heart, and a spirit that is also really mastered. And you are the master.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm like a sponge still learning.
It says Grandmaster right here.
Yeah, well, what can I say? So anyway, one of the key things we'll be doing at that seminar is actually going over ways that you can power up your cells. And we're going to spend a great deal of time on what they call, in the Chinese call, qi energy, because the whole key comes down to understanding this energy field that we're in, because we really are 98.9% energy and information, only 1/10 of 1% actually physical matter. So when you understand that, when you come from the standpoint of energy, and the Asians, they don't look as their self as a body of mass matter. They look at themselves as an energy being. And once they do that, they get into a whole new area of being able to create new energy in the body. There are actually 6 different kinds of qi. Qi in English means breath, life force, and energy. So that 3-letter word has actually all those 3 different meanings to it. Once you understand what that is, then you get into a whole new area where you're able to do something about it. For example, the 6 qi, 5 of those are really basically qi that we have inside of us emitting to the outside. And then there's the universal chi, that's the chi outside of us. Once you understand how you can tap into that universal chi by improving our personal chi, it really makes a great deal of difference in our overall health and strength. In other words, it's learning to produce superhuman inner strength. And that is not that hard to do if you understand the principles.
Well, you know, whenever you say superhuman, I always think about when you do that experiment, you have the two big buff guys try to lift you up, and they can at first, and they guess your weight, and then you center that energy, that superhuman power, whatever you do, and they can't lift them up. And we're talking about strong, big guys.
They could lift the back end of a car.
Yeah, yeah.
And they can't lift me no matter how hard they try. And then I can take 10 people and stand in front of me and try to push me over, and using internal chi that can't budge me. Now, how can that chi be used in our everyday life? Well, that same power can be used to be inspirational for writing a book, or to overcome a tragedy, or to be able to have superhuman strength to get out of a physical situation where your life is at stake. And most people just ignore that, but everybody has the power to do that. So at this seminar, well, I know you have a lot of power.
I have that power, and you know how I use it. I don't use it to, you know, push people down or have people pick me up. I don't weigh like what you weigh, but what I'm trying to make the point is that I use that inner chi life force to handle the worst case scenarios in my life. And believe me, I have had them. We've had them together, just like some of you out there. And once you learn how to master that, and when I say master that, it's like doing the same thing over and learning it so that when crisis happens, stress happens, you know how to really call upon that life force that gives you the strength that you need when you need it. And let's face it, we never know when something negative is going to happen. It's easy to handle all the good stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. In other words, it's learning to be happy in spite of things, not just because of things. And that goes back to that energy, that positive energy. There's two emotions in the world. Everything fits in those two emotions. Emotions of fear and emotions of love. And where you choose to decide to plant your emotions makes the big difference how healthy you are and how long you're going to live. Because disease cannot live in a body that's in a healthy emotional state. It just can't live there. It doesn't want to be there.
Exactly. So that's what this Master Your Mind workshop is going to be coming up on June 28th. Mark your calendar. You can always get a hold of us. And if you need any more information, but you will leave there really getting some powerful information. My husband's also going to be doing some of those energy demos with the guys picking you up.
It blows everybody's mind. Science cannot explain it.
I know, it's really fun. So we're going to take a brief time out already. I can't believe where this time goes.
Fast 15 minutes.
I know. Then when we come back after the break, we're going to be talking about another form of chi that we use in our everyday living, and an event that's going to be coming up in July. So we are really busy here. We'll be right back after this, okay?
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental. Providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Hi, I'm Derek Brooks, former linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. During my NFL career, I realized the importance of giving back and started my foundation, Derek Brooks Charities. We help Tampa Bay youth prepare for a successful life through our college prep and mentoring programs. Our goal is to see youth excel academically and develop strong characters and be better citizens for tomorrow. To further our mission, we've teamed up with Fun Night, a company that gives members access to thousands of nationwide discounts on products and services they buy every day. These include entertainment, retail purchases, dining, and travel. Best of all, 33% of every membership fee goes to the charity of your choice. We love being able to save our supporters money while giving them a unique opportunity to support our charitable work in the community. I invite you to consider using Fun Night to save money and give back to your favorite cause. Visit www.funnight.us to sign up now and get a free 30-day trial. Save money, help others with Fun Night, and support Derek Brooks Charities.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today. This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
The environment here is really kid-friendly, family-friendly. The parents are welcome to watch.
It's definitely been a different atmosphere since Dr. Becerra has come on. It's very inviting and welcoming. The children just enjoy coming here all around.
My middle son did not like to come to the dentist, but now he loves to come to the Beehive.
You don't have to be afraid to go to the dentist. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
And welcome back into Primetime TV show right here at We Beam TV in Tarpon Springs. I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is my husband, Dennis Kelly. We're sharing some tips on ageless living. Just the name, just the word, ageless living. That's what we do. We're trying to do.
The word's a very powerful word.
I know, and words are powerful because when you give birth to words, you can live those words, correct?
It's like a seed that grows into an oak tree.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's true. It really is. We do that quite a bit, and we help each other to try to stay with positive words as opposed to negative words because they just getting back to the whole energy thing that we were talking about before we took the break. And words have energy. So the next thing we want to talk about is your certification coming up on the Qigong Masters Level 1 and 2 that's coming up in July. And we're going to be doing this at the Courtyard Marriott in Oldsmar. And you can actually register for this here. We're giving group rates, and we're starting to promote this from now because we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to go ahead and get in on this. And I am going to turn this over to the Grandmaster of Tai Chi, who has been my mentor for many, many years. We certify people all over the continent. And I'm going to let you just go ahead and talk about why did you get into Tai Chi and Qigong, but mainly Qigong.
Well, the big thing about Qigong and Tai Chi is these are exercises you can do to charge the batteries, the cellular batteries inside of every one of our cells. And there's no exercise in the world that I know of, and if there was, I'd be doing it, that can charge up the batteries more than Qigong, and especially with the combination of Tai Chi. And when you understand those two arts, which those that come to this 2-day seminar, in July will get an understanding second to none of the power of Qigong and Tai Chi. Not only will they be able to help themselves and their family, but they'll be able to go out and teach it and make a good part-time or full-time income from teaching this wonderful art. And the big thing is not so much how many you make, but how many people can you help. And the biggest person to help is yourself, because if you aren't healthy and if you don't take care of yourself, then you're not going to be able to influence other people, and you're not going to even be able to help yourself. So this seminar will not only be just certifying people to teach Qigong and to do Qigong, but also talking and learning all the implications, the positive implications of understanding Qi and the energy, how to move energy, how to empower your cells to produce more energy, and things like that. And once you understand, like Qigong, for example, in English means cultivating energy. Qigong goes back to 475 AD, and the Tibetan monks that actually were taught this from an Indian Buddhist, and he came from India and taught them this wonderful exercise of Qigong because they were, for example, the problems that they had, and they had a lot of problems. They had poor food. They would sit and meditate for 4 or 5 hours, and sometimes it was very cold. They would actually freeze to death because in the Himalayas there, they didn't have the heat that they needed. So this one Buddhist monk, he taught them this exercise called the tempo exercise. Then later they changed the name to Qigong, which means cultivating energy in English. And what that did is it gave them a chance to meditate and move. They not only were improving their mind and their spirit, their emotions, they were able to improve their body through the repetition of movements. And in a few short years, according to history and research, these were the most powerful human beings in all of Asia. They built these strong bodies because when the monk from India started teaching them, Damas is his name, was his name. Anyway, when he was teaching them this art, before that, they were very frail. They were not healthy because of the food and because of the fact that they weren't exercising, only exercised their mind. So they had the best of all the worlds. Then what happened after a few centuries, the monks, they had these strong, healthy bodies, but they had bandits coming stealing their food. Every so often, every month or so, they'd come back and steal their food. And the food was very scarce to begin with. So here they had these strong bodies, but they weren't allowed to use weapons because of the feudalistic government. And the government wouldn't allow them to use weapons because they were afraid they would turn the weapons over on them and use them against the troops. So they practiced these movements very, very slow. But how that got started is they finally got fed up with the fact that the bandits were stealing their food. And several hundred years later, the very patient monks, several hundred years later, in 1300 AD, they finally decided to do something about it. As the history goes, one of the monks saw a snake and a crane fighting by the side of the woods and was amazed by some of the movements were similar to Qigong, and also how graceful and how agile the snake and the bird were actually in movement, how they were graceful and they actually moved with such finesse that they captured the monk's mind in this sense. Well, if I could put that into fighting and we could develop that art like the bird and the snake, then we could produce something that was protect us from the bandits because we can't use the weapons. So sure enough, they came back and taught the other monks and created these movements that are very slow. And each move was designed to either kick or punch, but it was a very defensive art. And in fact, it wasn't an aggressive art. So after the bandits came back a couple times, they no longer were found. They couldn't find them anymore. So the whole idea of the exercise was to actually protect the monks from the bandits stealing their food. But the best thing that came out of that was it ended up being a wonderful exercise for all ages and fitness levels. In other words, because the movements were so slow, they were able to perfect those movements in such a way because the muscles and the tendons and the ligaments were all moving in perfect balance, so that when they did speed up the move, it was 50, 60 times faster than if they normally were trying to do the move without doing it slow several hundred times. So it was this slow, graceful movement that reduced stress, that developed strong, flexible bodies, and it also developed a tremendous amount of ability to concentrate and focus. And that was one of the key things too. So here you had the best of both worlds. You had an exercise that would help develop the internal body, the chi. You had an exercise that would protect themselves from the varmints, from wild animals and the robbers, the thieves that were stealing their food. And the other thing, it didn't alarm the feudalistic troops when they came by and saw them doing these slow movements in the fields when the weather permitted. They weren't suspicious of the fact that these could be used against them.
I loved hearing, I can't tell you how many times I've heard this story, but I still love hearing it because I can relate to everything that you said, and with my dancing and my performances that I was involved with, if I didn't do the Qigong, especially the Qigong, and getting all this oxygen to my system, I wouldn't have had the energy, I wouldn't have had the focus and concentration, which you need when you're learning dance, and my leg strength. Ever since I've been doing the Tai Chi and the Qigong with you for almost 20 years now, my leg strength is amazing. And of course, I hear you say that the legs are the pump to the heart. The pump to the heart. So, and you never know when you may have to make a fast getaway somewhere in case some emergency happens or whatever. So it's really important for us to do that whole mind, body, spirit thing. These are some of the ageless tips that we have been doing for a number of years, and we want to offer this to you as at group rates. The other thing I want to mention too is if you are into alternative health or you would like to get into alternative health, my husband has been approved through the school out in California, which is called American School of Natural Health Sciences of California. They're sponsoring this class, and they have a protocol to where if you want to get involved in having that title as a professional alternative person that's out there as a professional working with clients, you can actually use this class towards your credits. So if you need any information on this, give me a call or email me and I'll be happy to walk you through it. But this is coming up and we're charging, it's $250 at the door, but early registration is $225. And what's great about this is you can start working towards your CNHP certification, and at the same time, you will have a professional Master Levels 1 and 2 of Qigong by my husband, signed and stamped professional certification, and it'll be a way for you to have actually two professions. So if you're into the alternative health, we're really excited about this. This is the first one of its kind, and it's going to be held. You haven't seen the courtyard, Marriott. It is beautiful.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It has a lovely courtyard, a beautiful classroom where we have plenty of room to stretch and exercise. And the one thing that makes our program different with the Qigong that you've put together is it's been tried and true. You've certified people all over the continent, actually around the world, in Germany and Canada. And you've made it so that it's easier to learn without taking away any of the integrity. And this is also some of the secrets that my husband has used when he was competing full contact point karate, when you won all your 5 world championships.
Well, you know, people had asked me what was my secret. How could I compete at my age? Because I won the top tournament in NASCA in the world in 2007 at 69 years of age, and still fought until I was 73. And it's so remarkable how people don't really get the idea that something so slow and so soft can have so much power. 70 to 80% of my training was soft style Qigong and Tai Chi. In other words, was the art of Tai Chi and Qigong, which gave me the soft exercise, then the hard exercise of the karate routine that I would do, the aerobic, the weight, lifting the weights, and the katas and the forms. So you have the best of both worlds, the soft for the healing, the hard for the external strength, the soft for the internal strength. So external, internal meet, that's when the fireworks begin. When you step in the ring, you're already at a great advantage. And also it kept me in great health, because to compete for 30, 40 years without really taking a break in the competition, coming back out of retirement 4 or 5 times, you have to be healthy. You have to be able to heal fast. So the biggest benefit is not so much the self-defense, That's just a small part of it, having a strong, healthy, quick, agile body. But it's the rewards that you get from teaching it, because when you teach it, you're getting so many more benefits than if you were just doing it by yourself.
Absolutely. We actually have students that attend these certification programs for them, just themselves, whether they go out to teach it or become a professional to take on classes of their own or not. But because it's such in-depth information that isn't ordinarily shared in classes that you teach or that our instructors teach. So it's going to be a wealth of information. And again, mark your calendar, get a hold of us, go to the website that we just showed you, dennis-kelly.com. It's July 18th and 19th here in Oldsmar from 9 to 5. You can register right now at the 225, and you will be very happy that you did. We have a lot of fun at these events as well, and you may even do some demonstrations at that.
Oh,
won't
absolutely.
You?
We'll show them these demonstrations, and it'll be the best investment, believe me, you've ever made.
It's going to be a fun weekend. I wanted to take an extra couple of minutes here because we are having sort of an abbreviated show today to get these points out, and you'll be hearing us talk about these. And these are two major things that we've done as ageless living tips. That is how to master the mind, and also our Qigong program that we use on a daily basis. And it's just right there in our hip pocket to pull from whenever we need it. But I wanted to mention that hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and I do want to say, please pray for the people in Nepal. That was such a tragedy with the earthquake, and I know many of you have been following my posting on one of our Tai Chi students, Dorothy Hayes. Her daughter survived, and so did her grandson. Well, her daughter is Christine Hayes. She's heading back here on May 9th, and I believe her son Jamal will be following. We're hoping to have Christine on the show. She was working over there, working on her business on Tibetan bowls. Tibetan bowls is a sound healing therapy, one which we do, another one of our ageless living secrets. We're hoping to help her out and expose what she was doing. She has a GoFundMe, but she was building her business on these Tibetan bowls, and then this tragedy happened. And it was just the day before that I was talking to Dorothy at our class up in Spring Hill. I want to bring Christine on and give her some exposure on what she's doing in her primetime TV show. So thank you for your prayers. Thank you for sending her good energy and distant Reiki and all of that to Christine Hayes. And Christine, if you're out there watching, we love you, and I can't wait to meet you for the very first time and talk about your bowls. So get here safe, and we'll see you when you can. In the meantime, I hope that this show has left you with food for thought and some different ageless tips that you can do as soon as you get right off the show. And they can work real wonders for all of us in living a better quality of life. And that's what we're here for, is to help give back. How about it?
Absolutely. One last thing I want to mention. We're actually not just teaching one style of Qigong, but we'll be doing at the seminar several different styles, and one particular style for those that want a rock hard body. The Chinese soldiers use this, and they do it every day, and they're the most physically fit people in the world outside of our SEAL team and so on. But it's amazing how people can really develop strong muscles by moving slowly. But it's been kept secret for many centuries. So just a few years ago, I happened to be in the right place at the right time. We're one of the few places that teach this form of Qigong.
Well, I think we're the only one that we know of.
That I know of.
We've coined it the dynamic fusion, and it is dynamic. We've actually had, and we can't make claims or anything, but we had some of your Tai Chi students up in Spring Hill lose a lot of weight doing that.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the prerequisites, is not just losing weight, but getting a firm, rock-hard body.
Like you.
Well, I don't know about that.
I do. On that note, it's time to say goodbye.
Well, you should know. You should know by now.
We'll see you next Monday. We are going to have a full hour on What's Your Story. We have two authors that's going to be joining us. We have Karen who's going to be joining us talking about this lap band surgery. And then we also have Doug Casimiri, who's going to be joining us talking about his books. And of course, Helena Trangata, author-publisher extraordinaire. So have a wonderful week, be safe, and I will see you this Wednesday on My Chamber TV at 3:30, the heartbeat of our community. And we air through WeBeam TV, presently in Tarpon Springs, and we'll see you next week. Have a great, great day.